the Krupp diamond, which was later renamed the Elizabeth Taylor diamond. Its hypnotic allure have enchanted a socialite, as well as Hollywood's biggest hit couple back in the day, and even thieves. But what was in this diamond that made it truly special, that it even made its owners wear the bauble almost on a daily basis? For this episode, we dive into the history of this rock and its current whereabouts, from its first landing on the hands of a German actress until its latest Korean keeper. The Elizabeth Taylor diamond, formerly known as the Krupp, is a 33.19 carat stone that is identified having a D-colored grading which is given by the Gemological Institute of America, or the GIA, to diamonds that are completely colorless. On top of it being crystal clear, the gemstone is also classified as a Type 2A diamond, which means that this specimen is chemically pure, that it bears an entire absence of any nitrogen impurities. What's more interesting is that Type 2A diamonds make up only 1 to 2% of all the diamonds that went through the GIA grading system, adding to its extreme rarity and value. Some notable important jewels ever discovered that are also Type 2A diamonds are the Koh-i-Noor diamond, that is mounted at the front of the crown of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Also a Type 2A diamond is the CTF Pink Star diamond, which currently holds the world record for the most expensive single diamond or jewel of any color to ever be sold at an auction. And of course the Cullinan diamond, which has by far remained the biggest gem-quality rough diamond ever discovered at 3,106 carats, that was later cut into several huge gemstones and are all part of the British crown jewels. The Krupp diamond is also graded as VS1, which stands for very slightly included, relating to its clarity that is characterized by having very faint to no inclusions. But it is oftentimes argued by experts that the Krupp might be potentially internally flawless, which means that it had no inclusions inside but may exhibit some faint blemishes on the surface, which as fortunately can be polished away. These diamond characteristics were further amplified by its shape called the Ash-share cut, a type of diamond shaping design given to a usually square-shaped step-cut diamond. The large step-cut facets of this diamond convey some sort of optical properties that appear like a hall of mirrors. It has been said that the Ash-share cut is only ideal to gemstones that exhibit less to no inclusions because the way it was shaped is not ideal to hide the inclusions inside the diamond. This majestic diamond is believed to have been mined from Jagersfontein mine in South Africa, but this claim remained as a theory, as nothing has been confirmed on its exact origins. This massive diamond first landed and adorned the hand of Vera Krupp, who was a German film star and was married to her childhood sweetheart Alfred Krupp, a German industrialist and war offender. Vera reportedly purchased the diamond in 1957 from the famous jeweler Harry Winston for $275,000, around the same time when she moved into her sprawling 520-acre ranch property in Las Vegas, Nevada. The diamond also had 2 tapered baguette-cut diamonds that adorned the sides to further emphasize its marvel. She preferred a snud to be a perfect fit of the ring on her finger, and she loved the jewelry so much that she wore it everywhere despite its massive size and captivating beauty, which in turn also attracted some unwanted attention, until in 1959 when a horrendous incident took place. On the evening of April 10, 1959, 3 men came knocking at Vera Krupp's farmhouse while having dinner with her foreman in her Spring Mountain Ranch, that is about 26 miles southwest of Las Vegas. These thieves pretended to offer to blacktop her long driveway, and they eventually made their way in by force, and managed to rip off the jewelry from Mrs. Krupp's finger to the point that it drew blood in the process. She and her foreman were later blindfolded and tied back to back with a wire from a lamp. Alongside the diamond, the loot also included a camera, a revolver, and cash of around $700,000. The FBI presumed that the diamond, along with the rest of the loot, will be transported across state borders, which was later proved to be correct, and they eventually had their sight on a man named John William Higginson, who was wanted for a similar burglary incident in California. He was eventually arrested, that stayed in California, and the authorities later were able to include more personality involved in the Krupp break-in. 6 weeks later, an informant tipped off to an agent in New Jersey that a local grocer was asking around and was trying to sell a big diamond. The authorities were led for the arrest of Jason Reeves, who was one of the 3 housebreakers. They later searched the hotel room where he was staying and they were able to retrieve the Krupp diamond, which was kept inside the lining of his coat that was hanging in his room closet. Later on the course of investigation, the authorities eventually were able to identify the whereabouts and recover the 2 tapered baguette-cut diamonds of the ring from a jeweler in St. Louis. Preceding the recovery of the center stone and 2 side diamonds, Vera Krupp turned to Harry Winston again, but this time, to reassemble the diamonds back into a ring. Mrs. Krupp passed away in 1968, and her beloved diamond ring was put up for auction at the New York auction house Sotheby's Park Burnett, catching the attention of the likes of Harry Winston himself and Hollywood superstar couple, Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. The Krupp diamond was bought for an auction price of $307,000, which was a record-breaking amount at that time, being the highest price ever paid for a diamond ring at an auction. The diamond's buyer, Richard Burton, later presented the jewelry to her beautiful wife, screen legend Elizabeth Taylor, while the pair was in London. She was elated to finally get the ring, and she famously stated that, "How perfect it would be if a Jewish girl like me were to own it." Just like its previous owner, Elizabeth highly adored the diamond so much that she wore it for the most of her life since its acquisition. And even though she loved the jewelry, she wasn't greedy with it, and in fact, she was so keen of sharing it with others. There was even this famous conversation where Elizabeth was at a dinner with Princess Margaret, and the British royal quipped that Elizabeth's ring was so vulgar because it was big. Elizabeth then asked the princess if she wanted to try it on, so she took off the ring and let Margaret wear it, and she later asked the princess, "Not so vulgar now, is it?"
I told the Princess Margaret too was interested in your jewelry. Is that right?
Oh, but the first time I wore this, well, I'd had it about 2 months, and I became terribly left-handed. Everything was, with slow. And we were talking, and she was following my hand. And finally she said, "That's the most vulgar thing I've ever seen in my life." But then she asked me if she could try it on.
The ring itself gathered so much attention by the public that when Elizabeth made a cameo appearance in the season 4 finale of The Simpsons, the ring became the highlight. She played an animated character of herself, and she was seen cleaning her famous diamond with a toothbrush and stared at its hypnotic facets after. The diamond ring became so synonymous with Elizabeth Taylor that after her passing in March 23, 2011, all of her jewelries were auctioned off by Christie shortly after, including her favorite piece of bauble that was renamed the Elizabeth Taylor Diamond, in honor for her love for the ring. Eland Group, a South Korean company, acquired the ring for an astonishing price of $8,818,500. It was planned that the diamond will be exhibited at eWorld, an amusement park located at Daegu, South Korea. The Elizabeth Taylor diamond remained to be one of the most iconic rings ever owned by a celebrity and continues to be an important discovery that still fascinates the gemstone and jewelry-loving community and Elizabeth Taylor fans alike. And that's it for this episode. I hope you liked the video by giving it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with the future uploads. And until next time, bye-bye.